Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Solavei presentation. This evening, we are having our Empowering You webinar with our hot topic of the evening, talking about live events. I want to welcome you to the Empowered Living Network. This is an incredible accumulation, drawing together, unification of amazing leaders across the board in Solavei that have come together to say we really want to team up, work in synergy to be able to produce some great webinars, calls, radio shows, hangouts that really do effectuate massive growth in people's business. So we want to welcome you tonight. Welcome to the Empowering You webinar. Again, tonight's topic is using live events to build massive momentum. My name is Stacey Wallace, and it is my honor to be a social executive 3 with Solavei and to be your host for the evening and to welcome some pretty amazing leaders to the call tonight. I am going to be the girl amongst many men this evening who are doing some amazing things in Solavei. First thing I want to do right off the bat, though, is to welcome to the webinar a very dear friend of mine, Ricardo Gloria, who is a social networker with Solavei. He's also an incredible leader. Many of you have heard about the events that he's been doing up there in Kansas City every single week after week after week. I believe they call it the Margarita Palace. But he has just been doing some amazing things, building massive momentum. And tonight, I wanted Ricardo to have the privilege of not only sharing with us what's going on in his business, talking about how they're using live events, as well as obviously they're doing things like branding vehicles. They're driving buses down to these live socials, live events, and to really let you see some of the secret sauce behind what's causing the explosive growth in their network. So, Ricardo Gloria, are you with us?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, Stacy. How are you?
Oh, doing very good, Ricardo, and so excited to hear from you. Tell us what would you say is the secret sauce? I certainly know that I've watched you climbing the ranks in the Cruise to Thousand Air. We'll show that in just a minute. But what are some of the things that you would say that many people overlook as it relates to developing their network and how it relates to live events and socials?
Well, I appreciate to share with everybody. I want to sure everybody knows, if they must what they can and see. The events are a big key in this environment because people want to know people, and we're doing it's just that. It's just build. We're saying is margarita paradise, and some margaritas, some great chips and salt. We're just trying to make it fun. We're trying to make it social. We're trying to make it so people don't people fight at home when I'm nobody's charged, but just sharing everybody else what happened. Events not only help us grow, but they will show people that if you really duplicate yourself and bring people, it's such a blessing. We've been doing these weekly events since last October, and now it's a tradition. Now we don't even announce it. Now it's Wednesday night at this Margarita Paradise, and on top of that, when like on this time that the event in Dallas, when we had the regional, everybody so hyped, and if you guys will have fun here, do you guys imagine going to Dallas? And that's all it took. I mean, we had people taking off from work. We had people closing down their shops. We had people driving, riding, renting a van, renting a bus, doing whatever they needed to do to drag their people down there. And I'm going to tell you, Stacy, we got some incredible team members. They have never been involved in network marketing before or any kind of company before in their life. And right now, just by following instructions and following what everybody else is doing and copying everybody else, I tell them, if you're a good copycat, this is where you need to be. You can copy everything you see in Solavei because if you keep duplicating yourself and your people do the same thing, that's gonna take you to nice places. So Events are definitely key. If you tell your people the benefits of them, once you take them to a couple of them and they see how much they can grow just by sharing with everybody, trust me, they'll never stop going. They'll keep going to those events forever because they know that those events are gonna put them on the next level. And we're so blessed, Stacy. We're able to take a lot of people down to Orlando, and we're making a bunch of them down there. So I can't wait to be in Orlando as well. Thank you very much, Stacy.
Well, hang on just a second, buddy, because I'm not done with you yet. I am so excited too. And honestly, I've had such a great ride with you and your wife there, and all the folks that tomorrow morning I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, flying to Fresno to be with a few hundred of your team members down there in California. It's going to be crazy cool fun. I'm expecting a little FUN while I'm down there. It'll be a fast trip for me going in and out, and we're very excited to do that. But there's a little bit of buzz going on that I think everybody tonight is tapping in, and why we've got so many folks on the line already is because that cruise to 1,000 air leaderboard it's pretty crazy what's going on here. And I'm just going to pop over for just a second so folks can see the numbers that are being put up here of personal enrollments: 54, 24, 53. Now, I want to bring light here just a second, because we got a guy right here, Isaac, and then, of course, right here, Ricardo. Both of you are at the top ranks of this leaderboard. Now, I have brought on and unmuted Isaac. Ricardo, please introduce us. We've got a lot of background noise. I don't know, Ricardo, if it's you or if it's Isaac, but I've got you both unmuted. So, but I would love to hear what is going on, Ricardo, and introduce us to Isaac.
Well, everybody, I'd like to introduce you one of the key players here, and this guy is so modest, Stacy. He's so humble. He says, I don't know what to say. I've never been talking in front of people, And I said, just be yourself. This guy, by all means, he has thrown down, and he has done whatever to make it happen. Isaac has really set the bar. Involved in a little bit on the industry before, on the communication industry. At the end of the day, Stacy, there is tons and tons of people that have the same potential. You just feel like he's feeling it. Anything he needs to make it happen. Isaac is tired of the corporate, Stacy. He's tired of just running himself full time, tied down to his own business, and he knows Solavei is the way. Getting tons of people, he's gonna make it happen. So I'm gonna let him speak here a little bit. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Isaac Gallegos. Hola, Isaac.
Hi, how you doing, Stacey?
Hello,
Afternoon.
Isaac. I feel like we've got a rock star, truly a rock star on the line, because I know that the company has tried to get you to speak at some socials and be on live, and you're so shy and you're so quiet, and this is what people don't know about you. And so I just want to let you know, I feel like I won already. Just to get you on here, because we want to know. I mean, obviously, everybody looks at you and goes,
Thank yeah.
oh, wow. Well, he must be a dealer. But Ricardo today was telling me that you are working every angle with Solavei, including attending the live events, being there weekly. Tell us, what is your secret sauce?
Well, my secret, I don't have. It's the only thing is I'm trying to follow Mr. Ricardo Gloria tell me what I feel, what to do. Looking to the governors, any. We have many leaders. I don't have any targets or. That's one of the. My other thing is if I need to store to do anything for Solavei, I do it. I don't care. And the main thing is, believe Solavei. Solavei do not have nothing to do with others because it's a great product for an excellent price. Plus, it's income for you. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Yeah, we You there, Stacy?
I am here. Excellent. Well, Ricardo, tell us a little bit. You guys are cutting in and out at my end. I don't know if it's all the way across the board. If everyone can hear, let me just look in my question panel and see if no one else seems to be having any challenges with hearing you. So it just might be at my end. But Ricardo, you were saying, and what I love about Isaac and what you and I were sharing with Isaac about Isaac was the fact that he is just so teachable. I mean, here.
There you have, you know, I always said it's
Welcome to go to
people and such, you know, definitely being a player because he's down his store if he had to go an event or he had to go anywhere. So he's not afraid to say, well, I've seen the lady, she said, Lisa closed the store ever, you know, and for him to close it for a day or two, just go to an event, care. She said, he know he's serious. Once again, Stacy, following the guidelines, following the Solavei guides, you know, and obviously you have to do a lot with this help mentorship. We're following your
go to webinar. Web events may
obviously we have a great team. I'm now here in California, having a great time with a few hundred people that I never met in my life before. We connected somebody on Facebook, and all of a sudden that person turned into a few hundred. Now we got a few hundred people here in California, and it feels like I've known them for years. You know what I mean? So can't wait to see you tomorrow, Stacy. Once again, we appreciate it. Isaac, thank you very much for being the leader that you are, and thank you for letting me be part of your team, buddy.
Well, thank you guys. I actually got knocked off the webinar, but I'm back on. And Ricardo, I know you took the lead and ran with it there, and I really appreciate that. Isaac, just an incredible story. I love the fact that he is just, I mean, you guys can see the picture there. He and his wife both very humble, but they just came in very teachable. And Ricardo, I have to give kudos to you because you're such a phenomenal leader and truly shows a lot. I think one of the greatest things is when you see your leaders outpace you. It's the greatest sign of leadership, in my opinion, is when a leader can teach his people or her people how to do what they do and do it even better. And you can look here. We've got Isaac at the top. A lot of other folks already have qualified for the Cruise to Thousandaire. We've got Ricardo Gloria already up at 21. I mean, look at these numbers: 22 personal enrollments, 27 in the next. You guys are going to hear from Ron Jones clipping it down there as well. Now, this is out of 160,000 members. Check out those numbers. To be in the top 20 or 100 or even a top 200 is a pretty remarkable feat. So thank you guys. And I love to hear that it is not, I mean, I know you guys, y'all aren't running any kind of internet systems. You're not running any kind of buying of leads, and you're just working with people and making people feel very special and alive in Solavei. So thank you so much again for being a part. Now I am going to jump over to Mr. Ron Jones. Again, you guys have not heard from Ron Jones on one of our webinars, but Ron Jones is obviously a Dallas Cowboy fan, which I love about him, from Dallas, Texas, and yet another incredible leader that has done phenomenal things down in the Dallas area. Now, recently you saw Ryan Wirch, who was down in Dallas. There was a live social event that took place down there. Ron Jones, David Lewis, Laura Wells, these guys all came together to put that event together, and so many other teams as well. But Ron, you showed up. I don't know how many people ended up coming, 20, 30 people just showing up, just saying they're with you. Phenomenal use of the live events. But what I want to ask you, Ron, is what is your secret sauce as it relates to Here you are cranking it up the boards, pretty new with Solavei, and yet you are already up there in that top leaders board of that Cruise to 1,000 Air. So tell us, Ron, what is your secret sauce?
Well, prayer. I pray a lot. But I always, especially when we have leaders that are right here in our backyard, I edify you guys to the point where people understand that they can't afford to miss this event or the opportunity to meet the leadership, to see exactly how the leaders, how they walk, talk, breathe, and how wonderful really that your personalities are in the leadership arena. Our people got a chance to meet you and to meet Ryan, and they are still talking about the great influences that you had when you were here and how touchable. Some of them have been in other companies where you couldn't get to the leadership, you couldn't talk to them, but this was an opportunity for them to really get to touch you guys and see that Solavei was real. Plus, we have about 6 meetings a week where we're training, inviting, doing presentations, just trying our best to spread the word to as many people here in the Dallas area as we possibly can. And I think our biggest asset is we have no fear. We're just like the Cowboys. We're not winning right now, but we are champions. And we will be back, believe me.
Well, Ron, one of the things that I absolutely love about your team there, and again, you mentioned it going back to the time when I was there and having an opportunity to be with your team and to see you guys have done it a little differently. A lot of folks, and we talk so much about social media, we talk about internet systems, we talk about affiliate marketing, internet marketing, Facebook and Twitter. And of course, those things are all very viable. But one of the things I like to do on the Empowering You webinars is let people see how many ways people are building the business. Recently, somebody called me who is actually one of our top performers and called me and said, Stacy, do you think I should be doing more with internet marketing? And I said to them, I said, if you look at yourself, you are ranking higher than any of the internet marketers. And I said, you're a belly to belly marketer. You're attending live events. You're just connecting with people on Facebook. You're having chats with people. And what I want folks to see is that Solavei offers something for everyone. No matter how you like to build your business, Solavei really has a place for you to find your special secret sauce. Now, Ron, when I came down to meet Ron in Dallas, I was really wowed at the excellence at which their team is putting forth. Now they've done a co-op together. You guys have heard of co-ops lately online. Well, they've done an offline co-op where they actually came together. They got a facility in Dallas, and they literally have an excellent, beautiful Solavei training center that 6 days a week they are training, equipping, they're doing live presentations. Last time I was there, they were running about 40 to 60 people in those meetings. And it's just been incredible to see how people, there's so many people that say, oh, I don't ever want to go to another meeting again. And then there's others who say, the meeting for me is the lifeblood. I love being with the people. I love interacting. Some people treat the meetings almost like it's the thing that keeps them going. So, Ron, what would you say has been the most exciting thing for your team as it relates to doing those? I mean, that's a lot of meetings, 6 a week, probably more than anybody else I know in the company.
Well, it's an opportunity. Of course, we don't change the system. We follow the system. We send out the video. That is the drawing card to get them to come out and see more of what we're doing. So everybody who has ever come to our office, the first thing that they have seen is that 6-minute video. And then that's an opportunity for people to bring guests who otherwise would lose people because in all honesty, a lot of times people don't believe what we say, but they take the word of someone else saying the exact same thing that you may say to them. So that's an opportunity for our team who may or may not have the courage to talk to people, just invite. And we teach them how to invite people out to come and take a look at an opportunity and then make a decision. With this being such a no-brainer opportunity, I mean, you get more for less. We have people coming on board weekly, and I just love looking at our leaderboard as it grows daily. But it's just about showing people the Solavei opportunity over and over.
Well, and Ron, I can tell that you guys have done something pretty extraordinary with regards to the excellence that you put forward. And I have to say, there's been some great reports back from Ryan and the other executives of when they're in your presence, they feel such a sense of excellence and how you're treating the brand. You're doing it and presenting it to others with a great amount of dignity and integrity, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I thank you so much, Ron, for being a part tonight and for sharing your story with us. I know we're going to have a lot more from you and your team down there. You've got a lot of great leaders that I can't wait to have on our webinars in the future. Thank you for being with us, Ron.
Thanks for having me.
And now we are going to jump over to another leader who was down in Dallas. Another great reason why that Solavei social was such a hit in the Dallas, Texas area with Ryan Wirch. All of these leaders came together and formed a really great alliance to put together a great social. Of course, Ryan got there and was completely wowed. This gentleman, I had the privilege of meeting him when they heard that I was in town. Roxana, Hannah, and other leaders were saying, "Stacy, will you meet with our teams?" And this was a team that I got to meet with David Lewis, and fantastic leader, incredible networker, an industry expert, I would say, and just an incredible man of God as well that just loves people, loves connecting with people. And David Lewis has actually, I talked to him tonight and said, our topic tonight is going to be the topic of why should I attend local events? A lot of folks have been talking a lot, and we have, and I'm personally guilty of talking a lot about internet marketing lately, a lot about online skills and online tactics to engage attraction marketing. But these guys are not only are they doing that, but they are really anchoring the belly to belly marketing area, local events. And David and his team have done something really unique in how they're presenting the events, where they're presenting the events. And I just think it's going to be an incredible treat for you guys to hear exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. Let me just see if we can get him on. David, are you with us?
I am, and good evening.
Well, good evening, David. And I know you've got a couple of slides here available. I don't know. Are you online with us that you can see the webinar as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, I've got two slides here that I think you're going to see very familiar, and we are excited. Tell us, why should we attend local events? And tell them first off a little bit of your story and how you're using some very unique facilities to attract people in a different manner.
Thank you, Stacy, and I really want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work you do, and certainly providing this opportunity to share a little bit tonight, and certainly to Roxana as well. Just really excited about what this represents. But just by way of introduction, my wife Paulette and I sort of are involved in the Solavei business, and she just came home one night and said, "I've got something you got to look at that's a buzz on the internet." And we found Solavei, and we're so excited about what that's been ever since. For the last 6 months, we've been totally amazed at really what's been happening for us. My wife, my daughter, and I, and we had the pleasure, of course, of attending what we think was an outstanding regional that the company put together here in Dallas. And what was amazing, of course, is less than a mile away from my home, and about a half a mile away from my church. So we're really excited about getting an opportunity at that event to meet all of the key leaders and to really get plugged into Solavei. Now, for our 1K club here in Dallas, we're really extending what we call a ground game here in Dallas and around the country with what we do in hosting weekly Solavei social commerce business briefings. We call them Tuesday nights at the movie. What we've done is rent out an entire movie theater, and we've been hosting about 70 to 100 members and their guests weekly in the western part of Dallas. We also are growing a new team and moving into a new facility in the eastern part of Dallas, out in the Mesquite area, where we're actually excited about the growth and development that we've seen there as well. We also do a weekly training event we call Super Saturdays, where we actually get folks out and do advanced training on how to be successful in this business. And our events have really been really helpful in motivating, educating, and really building credibility for the Solavei name in and around our entire community. But tonight, Stacy, you've asked me to talk about the whole idea of events, and sort of all of us have probably been there at one point or another. You know, when the calendar comes out and a company starts to communicate that there's events available, and we all ask ourselves the questions, should we go? I wonder if it's necessary, that whether I should attend or not. And I want to just share with you why I think it's absolutely necessary that you attend. And it's also very, very important that you understand what the power is that's available to you. And here's the 5 reasons I think it's really so vitally important that you attend Solavei events and activities, and how events can drive your business. Number 1 is that events put you in proximity to success. Events also provide access to essential nuts and bolts training. Number 2, events provide access to meetings and the meetings within the meeting. And number 4, events provide opportunities to access new members and drive new memberships. And number 5, events help you dominate our social commerce business. And I want to just spend a couple of minutes talking about each one of these, if I can. Really, it's really just important to me that we understand that when we actually say events, we're talking about events. This Solavei industry was set up to help people who want to change their lives. The change often is thought of in a financial nature, but in reality, many times, what's really changing is our spiritual and personal growth that comes about as a result of actually being exposed to and being involved with other people. Solavei events really help foster this change because, like all good events, there's a comprehensive personal development exposure that we get when we get involved and get in proximity to other people who are achieving that success. It's so exciting to get an opportunity to work with the top money earners in our company, to see people who have in fact changed their lives through Solavei. The second piece is the meeting within the meeting. I should have said the second piece of nuts and bolts training. I got to tell you, we've had just wonderful experience of sitting in a meeting, and I got to tell you, my daughter had to write a paper for the Texas Achievement Test, and guess what? She used some information that was shared by James Leonard in that meeting, and of course, I was so excited about what that represents. But actually getting nuts and bolts training and how to do this business is just tremendously powerful. The third area is the meeting within the meeting. How great is it that you can actually get a chance to meet with those individuals? You know, the time in the hall where you stop and talk with someone, where you have an opportunity to gather around in a small huddle and hear some of the tips, tricks, and success tactics that people are using to help build their business and explode their actual income through Solavei. That's what you get when you actually attend the events and activities that are so vitally important to helping us grow our business. It's sort of like piling up the coals and actually getting them hot by us combining our efforts in a meeting within the meeting process. And then the fourth area is just really how powerful it is for new members. You know, it's tremendously powerful, first of all, to have somewhere to bring a new member and say, hey, come, let me show you the people that you're actually getting involved in. And many of you who know this industry, you also know that people not only invest in our company, they're not only investing in their future, but often they're investing in the people that they're in business with. And having events provides that opportunity where people can actually connect with other like-minded people that are actually engaged in this business. And then the thing that I think I want to share and place special emphasis on is how events can really help you dominate this social commerce business. And by dominate, I mean that you have, let me ask you really, I guess, essentially a very important question. And that question is, are you in Solavei? I mean, really, are you in? And of course, I say, are you in? Because if you're participating in the actual events, such as your local, I mean, all of the webinars that we have on a weekly basis, the wonderful Monday calls that Tracy does, our Thursday training that we're participating in tonight, the Solavei socials that our CEO is conducting, all of these, in fact, are events that you can plug in to help drive our social commerce business. And if you can answer yes, that you're participating in all of those events, you, in fact, can truly say that you are in Solavei. The last thing I want to just share with you is really, you think about what we do when we get involved in this kind of business and the business opportunity. And I like to liken it to what we would do if we were investing in a McDonald's franchise. Can you imagine investing in a McDonald's franchise and not going to the Burger University? That same is true of you participating in events with Solavei. If you want to be successful, the opportunity to participate and engage in events is vitally important to you becoming or achieving the goals that you have in this business. We're so blessed to have the opportunities and the kind of uh, uh, webinars, training, events, and most importantly, how powerful these regional events that our companies are having, they are what in fact can drive your business to success. Now with that, I want to just talk about how important it is that you, number one, gotta be in Orlando. It's vitally important that you get there and you tell everyone in your organization that can possibly get there and to get involved in this opportunity. In fact, that can actually change not only your perspective on this business by meeting other leaders and getting engaged with people who are doing this successfully, but also move you to a whole new level of success that you probably would never realize independent of operating in the environment that Solavei creates with these events. With that, Stacy, I'd like to say thanks again for the opportunity to participate. We're excited about what's happening with Solavei. We're blessed totally beyond compared to what we've been able to do prior to this, and so we really want to thank you for letting us participate with you.
Well, thank you so much, David. And you are such a first class leader. And I love your heart and your humility and your leadership. Just to recap, some of the reasons why you surround yourself with other top achievers, events bring people together. I love the way he said that. I love the way he continues to emphasize the fact that we want, as leaders, I believe it was Washington that said, you show me a man's personal associations and I'll tell you his future. You can tell where a person is going to end up by the people they hang out with. If you can surround yourself by other great leaders, it is an amazing thing. And we happen to live in an age where it's easy for us to hide behind a little profile picture. It's easy for us to hide behind social media. But I tell you what, you don't hide when you get with people. I think there's actually a scripture that says, forsake not the gathering together of the saints.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because of the accountability, the energy, and the momentum that it produces. The second thing is events position you around the best of the best. I'll never forget when I first started studying, I first started traveling with Zig Ziglar and had the privilege of traveling with him for 12 years and other great leaders, 5 US presidents, every single time. And I would make it a habit when I was in the green room with these people having private time, I would always ask them a ton of questions. And basically what I wanted to know is what made them successful. If they could give me one nugget today that could change my life, what would it be? When you're around top achievers, when you're around people you respect, I used to spend literally hours upon hours a day reading the stories, the biographies of great leaders like Mother Teresa, Oprah Winfrey, Martin Luther King Jr., and the list goes on and on. Mayor Giuliani, different presidents. Why did I do that? Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, and others. Why did I do that? Because top achievers hold nuggets. And if you really take time when you're in their presence, don't be intimidated by them. They will respect you if you're that person that comes up and says, can I just ask you one question? What would be one nugget you could give me right now that I could walk away and it could change my business or change my life? I double dog dare you to start asking those kind of questions when you are around top achievers. Of course, events give you access to energy and goodwill. Last night, my husband and I had the privilege of going to a 4-hour, absolutely spectacular dinner at Canlis in Seattle, which was a place we held one of our pre-launch events. And It was a delicious dinner. But what was amazing was we walked in at 5:30 and we heard them doing their pre-business checklist. And the pre-business checklist before they actually open up their restaurant, it's a five-star restaurant, was all about generosity. And they talked about their core values. And they talked about how important it was to serve selflessly to the people that will be sitting at the tables this evening. Yes, they talked about the food list. Yes, they talked about the things that would be done, but they anchored it. The final thing they said was they began to communicate and made sure that they reiterated the importance of the spirit of generosity. When you're at live events led by a company that holds solid core values, you will not only experience motivation and inspiration, but you're going to experience the goodwill of the people that are within that company. Number four, events are like being Miracle Grow sprinkled. This is a list from David that he sent over, and I love it. He's right. If you've ever used Miracle Grow in your flowers, you can have ordinary flowers that grow at an ordinary and sometimes less than stellar speed. But when you put them in the right pH balanced soil, when you put the right Miracle Grow or the right food into the mix, something happens and it causes monumental faster growth. That's what takes place when you get your people, not just you. You want to get your people to these events. I have to say, if you were to ask me right now, who is, in my opinion, got the strongest growth curve right now, I'd have to say Ricardo Gloria. The reason why I say that is because I'm looking at the activity that's happening all over the United States that he's got his hands in. And every single one of those pockets of people, they're coming to the socials, they're coming to the events, they're night after night after night on those live socials that Ryan was hosting. They're constantly every week doing something. They're miracle growing their team, and they're building something more than an online network. They're building relationships. I want to bring on now somebody that I have a great amount of respect for. Loved the time that I got to spend with he and his wife in Hawaii. They're incredible achievers within Solavei. And I know that Eddie has tremendous things to share tonight on local events and why to be out at the regional events. But tonight, Eddie, I'm going to bring you on here. I just want to let you know before I unmute you that I had the privilege of going into your Facebook account to find pictures of you. And it's one of my favorite things to do on these calls and webinars is to see a little bit more about our speakers. And I have to say, Eddie, you have a Facebook account that so describes you because I see you with your family. I see intimacy. I see relationship. I see connectivity. And most importantly, I see love. And so I hope that, Eddie, you'll share a little bit of your story with us, how you became a social networker, how you got started in Solavei, and then share with us what you want us to know tonight about live events. All right, Eddie, are you with us?
I'm here, Stacy. Thank you for inviting me. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. Glad you're here.
Boy, what a tough act to follow. My hat goes off to everybody who's spoken so far. What an incredible webinar this has been this evening. And again, it was an honor that Stacy asked me to spend some time with all of you this evening. I wanted to share a few thoughts because having been in this industry now for quite some time, I've always well, not always. Let me take that back. It took me a while to understand the power of attending events, why they were so important, and what eventually happens to people who do attend events versus those who choose not to attend events. But I do want to take this kind of full circle as Stacy asked me to cover. My wife Belinda and I have had the privilege of being involved with Solavei from the very early parts of the company. Last June, we were contacted by a very good friend of ours, Mr. Gary Craig. And at the time, we had been away from the industry, Stacy. I don't know if you knew this part of our story, but we were kind of burned out. We'd been in the industry for a while, had a lot of success, also a lot of failure, and really just we're at a point in our lives where we were taking a break. Really didn't want to have anything to do with the industry at all. And we got contacted by Gary, and he asked us to take a look at Solavei. And one of the advantages I guess I had at the time was I had been learning how to market on the internet, following a lot of those folks in that part of the industry. And the big thing that everyone was talking about last year and about the last 2 years is mobile marketing. how everything is turning to the world of mobile marketing. And so when I saw that Solavei was taking advantage of social commerce and social media, but also tying in the mobile, it really took me all of about a couple of hours to to call Gary back and say, I'm in. What do we need to do? This is an incredible opportunity. I have no doubt it's going to be huge. So he said, okay, well, Eddie, if you'd like to be one of my founding 12, at the time, if you remember, Stacy, we were told you can pick 12. And I said, yeah, I'd like to be one of the 12. He said, well, these are the requirements. And he went through the requirements. And the last requirement he said is 30th. And my heart dropped when when he said that, because at that time last year, we had a huge family event. As you guys can see from our picture here, family is huge to Belinda and I. And one of my cousins, my first cousin, the youngest cousin of kind of our generation, was scheduled to get married on June 30th. And the thing about that wedding that was funny at the time was I was the one that was giving him a hard time about marrying this girl. They've been dating for a while. I said, you need to marry her. You need to marry. I pushed and pushed and pushed for them to get together. We just loved my cousin's fiance at the time, now his wife. And I said, Gary, you don't understand. You don't know what you're asking me to do. I'm going to give up a family event where I've got family flying in from out of state. This is a huge thing. But I knew, Stacy, that I had to be there. And I committed to Gary. I said, okay, Belinda will stay home. She'll attend the event, represent us. And I flew to Seattle. And what happened to me, because I was there, is I had the opportunity, as everybody's mentioned on the webinar tonight, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Wirch. I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Jim Ryan. I had the opportunity to rub shoulders with some of the investors that were involved with Solavei early on and still are. I had the opportunity to meet Maria, who's in charge of customer service. I had the chance to see the quality of the people that are involved in this company. And what it did, guys, is it built a conviction in me that when I came home and I shared that with Belinda, I said, we've got to go to work. This is a company that is going places. This is a company that is going to be huge, and we cannot miss this wave. I would not, Stacy, have had that conviction had I not gone to Seattle. I mean, we could have had a Google Hangout back then. We could have had a conference call. But, being there live and in person made all the difference in the world to Belinda and I, and to me especially, because it built an irreplaceable conviction that what we represent with Solavei is an opportunity that people need to hear about and take advantage of. And that really was the building block for us with this company. We launched in September, and I believe Belinda and I became thousandaires in October. We've got a wonderful team right now growing all over the United States, continuing to grow. We're excited about the international expansion. And one of the things I tell our team all the time, which has been said tonight, is when we say events, there's all different types of events in Solavei. But what I tell our team is attending the Monday night and Thursday night webinars with Solavei, for those of us who are serious about building this company, is not an option to miss. And I realize sometimes we can't be on them live, but what I encourage our team to do is if you miss a live webinar, commit to listening to the recording within 24 hours after it comes out. Be at the regional events. I know financially not everybody can attend every regional event, but commit to be at the one that is in our area. And of course, don't miss the national convention, Stacy, that's coming up later in the fall. All of these things, guys, are a must attend. Why? Because it's our Solavei food. What happens to us if we don't eat for a week? What happens to us if we don't eat for 24 hours? We get weak, right, where our body can't function. And every few weeks, every few months, we need a Solavei fix. We need to be at these events. Why? Because it builds conviction. It carries us through the next 60 to 90 days. Because building a business, it's simple, right? Solavei is simple to build, but it's not necessarily easy at times. We're going to have discouragement. We're going to run into negative people at times. We have to be able to have the right mindset, but more importantly, again, have the inner belief that what we represent is something worth representing, and that cannot be duplicated without us attending the live Solavei event. So guess what? Whenever the Vegas event was announced formally yesterday, Stacy, Belinda and I registered immediately. We booked flights. We're going to be there. We're encouraging all of our team within the western region of the United States to be in Vegas. If you live near in the East Coast or anywhere within driving distance of Orlando, get to Orlando, because what it will do, guys, is, again, I'm going to drive this point home one last time. It will build a conviction within us that what we represent is one of the most incredible opportunities we have right now in this world. And that's really all I wanted to share tonight, Stacey, is the importance of being on the webinars every week, watching the recordings if we miss them live, get to the regional events, get to the national conventions. That's what will carry us through long term with this company.
Excellent, Eddie. Love your heart, love your family, and an incredible night tonight of being able to hear so many leaders who are saying the same thing no matter what background they have, whether it's online, offline marketing. At the end of the day, you know, I was thinking back when you were talking about the pre-launch and the launch. I was remembering a gentleman named John Benjamin. And I remember the effort they had to go through in order to get to that very, very first event in Bellevue, Washington. I remember they had booked their flights, and unfortunately, they were one of the folks that I had chosen in my original 12, and they were the very last people that I had notified that they were chosen. So their flights were very expensive. They went and said, Stacy, it doesn't matter. We're going to be there. And they ended up paying over $1,000 for each flight. And they missed the flight. Non-refundable, couldn't get their money back. And they called me from the airport, completely demoralized, saying, we're just trying to figure out what do we do right now. We don't have the money to buy more flights. And do we need to be there? And I got to tell you, as a leader, that's a tough question to ask, because I knew financially that they didn't have the money to go buy 2 new tickets. And yet at that time, I knew if they were at that live event, it would set them on fire for what needed to happen in Solavei. And I said to him, I really believe it's going to be worth it. And there's times as a leader, you've got to make a very tough decision on behalf of your people. And at the same time, I could have said, you know what, let me help you out with the flight. Let me send it to you. But instead, I said to them, I believe it's worth it for you. And I think you guys need to be here. They ended up paying, I think, over I don't even know how many thousands of dollars to be at that first event. And it so set them on fire. Not only did they have the conviction of, like Eddie said, of all the people that they saw, but they were financially committed in a way nobody else in the company, as far as members, were committed. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from day one, where most people only had to buy a $650 phone and a $49 activation with a $29 SIM card fee. Today, you have such an amazing opportunity for $49 a month, unlimited voice, text, and data. It is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you join Solavei? Last night I sat at the dinner with the 2 owners of this restaurant, and they said, it doesn't make sense. Why would everybody in the world not want to do Solavei? And we said, we feel the same way. It's just a matter of time before it starts to catch on and hit the masses. Today, you don't have to buy a $650 phone to get started. You don't have to pay a $29 SIM fee charge. You don't have a $49 activation fee. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to fly to get somewhere. All you have to do is get enrolled with Solavei, and then, like all of the speakers tonight, get yourself to the next event. Why? It will increase the belief you have in the company. It will increase the belief you have in yourself, looking around the room and going, look, these are ordinary people. And if they can do it, I can do it. And it will increase your belief in the fact that now is the time for a revolution in mobile commerce, in social commerce, to take place. And you might as well be the one that benefits from it. You know, tonight it has been an absolute joy to share with you the importance of using live events. We're going to continue always bouncing in and out: live events, social events, online events, internet marketing, belly to belly marketing. But tonight I want to end this webinar first off by saying thank you to all of our wonderful men that have spoken on this webinar this evening. We're so gracious to be on, and we're so grateful to have you. But tonight, if you're just looking at Solavei, we want to encourage you to get started. And the way you do that is, number one, become a member, get in. You're going to hear a little saying that we say, get in, get social, get free. What does get in mean? It means become a Solavei member. Go to solavei.com / the username of the person that referred you to this webinar, and get plugged into everything Solavei has to offer. We encourage you to plug into the empoweredliving.biz site. It's a universal site that's been created for all teams to play in, to have a one-stop shop for training, materials, webinars, videos. Like Eddie said, the archives are set up there. If you miss a webinar, go back and watch it. They're available there. If you missed one from a month ago or 2 months ago, they're posted there. The second thing is get social. Start sharing Solavei with your friends, your family. Start posting on Facebook, Twitter, sending out those invites you have available through your free system that Solavei offers you called Outreach Manager. Start sharing it with people and getting them to a local event. A local event might be something at a local Margarita Palace. It might be a live regional event, or it could be a webinar like this. Get social. And then number 3, get free. We want to show you how with just 3 trios or 9 people, you will be making enough money that your mobile service with Solavei will be paid for every single month as long as those people stay on Solavei's service. That's pretty exciting. That's one thing you're going to take off your budget. You know what? Don't just stop there. Go ahead and clear the entire family's budget, phone bill off the budget, and then work towards having a financial future with Solavei. Again, I want to thank you all for being a part of tonight's Empowering You webinar. This is Empowered Living Network, and we're very excited to have so many teams playing together. Remember, now is the time, this is the place, and you are the one to start a revolution. My name is Stacy Wallace, and on behalf of all the leaders of all the teams that are playing in on these webinars, we are believing the best for you. Good night, everyone.